welcome. Thank you for joining us at this Spotlight on Travel. Today's event, as most of you I'm sure know, is about river cruising, doing the Christmas markets. So we have three really fantastic vendors today to tell you all about how their river cruise line would be the best for you to experience the Christmas markets. So the Christmas markets are a great way to get out and meet people when you're on your trip, as well as do some of that favorite shopping. I know several of us in the room who I've traveled with before like to shop. And then there's of course this great experience of getting the mulled wine while you are at these markets. So there is the silver pitcher up there is some hot blue vine or mulled wine. I took a sip of it, and I have to say in July in Florida it's a little bit difficult to drink because it's heated. But it is one of the great experiences when you're doing a Christmas market. So we are going to start out with Pam from Uniworld, and she's going to tell you everything there is to know about Uniworld in a segment of time. Everything there is to know about Uniworld, why you would want to cruise with them, and why you would want to go to the Christmas markets with them. So thank you, Pam.
Okay, so how do I do this here? Just stick it on slideshow. Is that up there? No? Okay.
It was working a minute ago.
It was?
I promise you we had the technology figured out before.
Well, I know Brittany, you'll know it. I thought everything figured out. You did? Okay. So what did I not touch? What did I touch? Okay, there we go. Yay. Okay, how many in this room have river cruised? I have, yay. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about Uniworld in the beginning, and then we'll go into Christmas markets, and I even included some of my personal pictures. So you can see the last time I river cruised in Europe. I'm going to go on this side. There we go. So there's a couple of things that Uniworld is known for. These are our hallmarks. We are all-inclusive. Every one of our ships is different. Our sister company is Red Carnation Hotels, which you may not be familiar with. There's only one here in Florida. It's the Chesterfield down in Palm Beach. But the Ashford Castle is ours in Ireland, if you're familiar with Ashford Castle. And then we have a lot of UK hotels. Our company, other companies that are associated with Uniworld, our sister companies are Trafalgar Tours, Insight Vacations, Brendan Vacations, African Travel. So if you've traveled on any of those companies, with those companies, you're then considered a past guest of Uniworld. We're also known, and I'll go into, you'll see some pictures of our ships, but our culinary excellence, what we're known for there, and that wonderful food that we serve on board. Our legacy of service. Our employees are employed by Uniworld, and their average tenure is 8.5 years. And why does that matter to you? Well, they're very loyal to us, and the service is really from the heart. It's great service. Personalized experiences when it comes to shore excursions. We include more than one shore excursion every day. There are multiple shore excursions. So when you're in the Christmas markets, you have a lot to experience. We have been voted the most inclusive river cruise line with our most inclusive amenities. Here is what is included. I'm not going to go through all of them, but gratuities are always included on board and on shore. Scheduled airport transfers, whether you purchase air through Uniworld or you do it on your own. Unlimited beverages. So if you want a Grey Goose Martini at 4 in the afternoon, it is included. If you don't drink, certainly we have organic, these special non-alcoholic drinks that are really wonderful. But all beverages are included, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, shipwide Wi-Fi, 24-hour room service. And if you're out on deck and you want something served to you, you can certainly get it. I know in the Christmas markets when we were sailing down the Rhine, we were up on deck and we all had these fuzzy blankets, and they brought us the, they called it glühwein, which is the mulled wine, and they also brought us coffee and Irish coffees and tea and all sorts of things. Shore excursions, we offer more than one shore excursion every day, as I mentioned, and concierge services, which are really important if you're looking to dine in a special restaurant or if something goes wrong. I was sailing on the Christmas markets with a single solo traveler, and she lost a crown on her tooth. And the concierge went with her because she didn't speak German, and she said it was the best 70 euros she ever spent, which was great. And then the staff had a little crown for her when she got back. Complimentary laundry facilities, and we have a high staff-to-guest ratio. We put less people on our ships and more staff, because we feel that works really well. And did you know we serve 28 distinctive whiskeys on board? That's just, we have 11 different vodkas, we have regional wines, and we have non-regional wines. So, we really try to make it special for you. And our mantra is no request too large, no detail too small. If you want something special, or if you're like my husband who forgets his reading glasses, I love Uniworld because the maitre d' comes over with an array of reading glasses for him, which is nice. Because he wants me to carry them, right? From farm to 5-star, our food is phenomenal. We are purveyed locally. We have a lot of regional dishes, but we have 32 different cheeses on board. We make our own bread, our own pastas. Our kitchens on all of our river ships, Viking and Scenic and Emerald, they're small, so we have to serve as fresh. We don't keep these big freezers and things like that. So the food is really great food. And Mrs. Tolman, who is in her 80s now, but she's also a chef and a hotelier, she has a lot of her own recipes. So there's also, she believes that when you're traveling, sometimes you want homey food. So there'll be shepherd's pie, or there'll be her chicken soup recipe, and it's really kind of nice. Exceptional shore excursions, we break our shore excursions into categories. We have gentle walking, we have exclusive experiences that are exclusive to Uniworld. We have about 80 different experiences in Europe that are exclusive to us. Do as the locals do, and village days, which is really nice. The beauty, if you haven't river cruised, the beauty, whether you take us or Viking or my friends at Scenic and Emerald, when you're river cruising, you're in capital cities and little villages. It enables you to be right there in the heart of Europe. With big ship cruising, and I love big ship cruising, but you're seeing the perimeters of Europe, and that's really the beauty of river cruising. So our exclusive experiences, here are some of my favorites, my personal favorites, and you can do this on the Christmas markets. Dock Tornoff when you're in Speyer. And I'll go over that in my favorite market. But Dock Tornoff, I've done this excursion numerous times where we go to this estate and they're known for making vinegars, and you do a vinegar tasting. But it is not your Heinz vinegar. These are aperitifs. They're made with fig and honey and these beautiful vinegars. And Casanova used to buy his vinegar from Dock Tornoff. So, of course, they sell his vinegar and women line up to get it. If you've been, who's been to Venice here? Okay, a couple of people. St. Mark's Basilica, people line up during the day. We go in the evening and we're the only group there. Or we go to see the master paintings in Vienna at the K&N Museum, and we're the only group there before they open. Doge's Palace in Venice before they open. We have some wine pairing lunches that are very special. Truffle Farm, Remy Martin Estate, things like that. And those are our exclusive excursions. We're in a league of our own. We have a lot of awards, so we're very proud of those awards, and most proud because we, and all three of us here, I think, made the top 10 yesterday. I don't know if you ladies saw that with Travel and Leisure magazine, so Uniworld made #1, and we're very proud of that. Each ship is a limited edition, numbered 1 of 1, and these are some of our staterooms. Now, our staterooms, they look a little over the top. We look a little fancy schmancy, but remember, on a river cruise, it's very casual. You can wear jeans to dinner if you want. It's very laid back. Our cabins, Savoir England beds, the Egyptian cotton sheets, but the walls are fabric, and the walls are fabric for a reason, and that's to make sure your experience is very quiet. Your neighbors aren't going to hear you, you're not going to hear the neighbors. So these are some of our pictures. This is our joie de vivre. And these are some of the things that are part of your stay: fresh fruit, electronic French balcony. We always have books on board in the suites. This is in the suite, and we have a real Picasso. So we, all of our ships have art from the Deland family collection. So it's kind of cool to walk around the ship and see that. Marble bathrooms. The only cabins on the ship with bathrooms are, or bathtubs, I should say, are the suites. And that's our Maria Teresa. So I'm going to show you a quick 2-minute video, just so you can get an idea of our ship that made the best ship of the year last year with Cruise Critic. Oh, we're not going to be able to hear this. Oh, too bad. Well, this is our Joie de Vie. And the Joie de Vie is the only river ship in the center of Paris, about a 15-minute walk. So I'm going to probably move on so we can get into Christmas markets. But
It's not the computer, it's the TV.
I don't know. I asked about the volume because I had speakers, but I wasn't sure. Because the volume's kind of nice.
Yeah, you're probably the projector, it must be the TV.
It must be the TV. Oh, there we go.
That's Brittany.
Videos, I just love it. Hope you're all ready to go. And the piece that I have in the back just shows some of the differences in the river cruise companies, but our ships hold an average of 130 guests, so they are small with our staff to guest ratio. We have 17 ships in our fleet. And there are differences on what's included among the river cruise companies. So let's dive into the Christmas markets really quickly. We have 7 itineraries and 5 ships that do these itineraries in Europe. The Germans like to say that they cornered the market on what the Christmas markets were, that they were the first ones. I'm not sure they were, but you know, when you travel through Europe, during the holiday season, and it usually starts right after our Thanksgiving, but all the little towns set up, whether they're tiny little villages, and I've been to Breisig, for example, not too far from Basel, Switzerland, and in Breisig, they have maybe, the Christmas market was half the size of this room, and then you go to a place like Strasbourg, and there's 6 or 7 different big markets. But it's old world charm, a lot of handmade goods, just beautiful foods. It's wonderful. Nuremberg has more than 200 stalls, and they're all wooden stalls. The mulled wine, as Amanda mentioned, and in Rudesheim, the life-size nativity scene is moving, as is Heidelberg's Christmas pyramid, and I'll show you some of my favorites. Here's the classic Christmas markets. It's 8 days, and you're really traveling from Nuremberg to Frankfurt, and those are very, very classic markets. They're bigger markets. They're really beautiful. The Danube also has really tremendous markets, and I'll show you some photos there. because they are just beautiful. There's some bigger cities. Here's Passau and Salzburg. And that is, I can't remember where that one was. But, I'm sorry? Maybe Passau. This one I know is Vienna. It's a classic. But that's just typical of the markets. And they're not always snow covered. When I did my trip last year, it was 60 degrees in Rudesheim, and then by the time we got to Strasbourg, it was snowing lightly. So you just take layers, and it was lovely. Has anybody in here done the Christmas markets before? I know. Yeah, the River Cruise person. And this, I know, is in Budapest. And we have a holiday, or European holiday, and that's covering parts of Austria and Germany on our SS Beatrice. And we've made that ship, we've just redone that ship. Parisian holidays, so you can do Paris as well on that beautiful Joie de Vie that you saw. And here's one of the pictures from the Paris markets. The Rhine holiday markets is my favorite, and this is the one that I've done, and that's why it's my favorite. I haven't done the others, I'm going to be honest with you. But it's November and December, France, Germany, and Switzerland, so it's essentially Basel to Cologne or Cologne to Basel, it switches. On the beautiful Antoinette, and that chandelier once hung in Tavern on the Green, if you're familiar with the restaurant in New York City. Yeah, and the story is that the Tolmans bought the chandelier first, and the ship came later. So, but you could choose, walking discovery tour of Cologne. You can visit the cathedral. If any of you have seen this cathedral, it's supposedly houses the three magi there. Every time I've gone, it's just incredibly beautiful. But these are some of my personal pictures, actually, these three on the left-hand side. And I took this following these two young girls because one of the markets in Cologne is geared towards children. So these girls were dressed as angels and they were sprinkling fairy dust on the kids. And I followed these girls because I just thought that was so beautiful. So that's my picture there. And then Rudesheim on the Rhine. And I think all three of us, whichever river cruise company that you choose here, we all visit probably Rudesheim, and it's a classic there. I just found out, looking on the internet yesterday, about Rudesheim. They're in the Guinness Book of World Records for the narrowest street with pubs along the way. But I bought the Rudesheimer coffee. You have to have it. It's a whole bottle of their little brandy that's made there, and then they light it up. And I got yelled at because I didn't want sugar, and the woman said, well, then that's not Rudesheimer. But you can shop to your heart's content. I purchased a unique bottle of ice wine there, which was personalized by the shop owner for my husband. And if you're from upstate New York, or if you're familiar with ice wine, it's a sweeter dessert wine. It's really beautiful. And these are my pictures from Heidelberg. And what's really cool, and I think the girls will agree from the other cruise lines, that when you're walking through these markets, you smell the chestnuts roasting. There's incredible smells from the chestnuts, the cinnamon, the cloves, the wine. It's just beautiful. And then even on board, you'll have fun. And here's one of our bartenders, and he's dressed up, and they sing Christmas carols to you. The ships are beautifully decorated, and he made a Rudolph cocktail there. And the Rudolph cocktail, I didn't have it, but it has vodka, peppermint schnapps, cocoa liqueur, and Baileys. Sounds kind of funky. But I did have his apple strudel cocktail. So that was one of their cocktails of the day, which was an apple strudel cocktail, and I included the apple strudel right there. Koblenz shopping. Koblenz is a lovely little town. We all visit there. And they have this big advent calendar, I think, that moves. It's really, really cool. And so that's my favorite, is the Rhine holiday markets. And then we also do 2 cruises that span over Christmas and New Year's. And New Year's Eve is a big gala in a palace with a live band and beautiful music and things like that. So that one's 11 days spanning Christmas and New Year's, and then the grand Christmas and New Year's
Pittsburgh to Budapest, spanning 13 days on the SS Beatrice, which is now a super ship for us. So current offers that we've got going with Uniworld, we have, if you're looking at 2018, we have some picture perfect sailings, which are outside of the Christmas markets, and that's up to $1,000 off. You always get a savings when you're paying in full. If you've traveled with one of our sister companies, there's an additional discount. And we have solo waivers. If you're traveling with somebody that wants to travel on their own, we waive the single supplement. And then if you book in the next month, you also receive a $100 shipboard credit per person. And you wonder, you know, we're all inclusive, what do you spend that $100 on? Well, you can't spend it in the spa. We have a full spa on board. And we have some shore excursions that are above and beyond, like a cooking class or something that's very specialized. So that's my presentation today, and I thank you from the butler and from me. Thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions for her about Uniworld, or she'll be here?
I'll be here for the whole, yeah, I'll be here through the other presentations. No? Okay, then onward and upward with my girlfriend over there, Linda. Yeah.
Same as it was 40 years ago.
Well, I don't know what it was like 40 years ago. The question was, is Rudesheim the same as 40 years ago?
That was my favorite place.
It's mine too, and I think it's very, very classic German town, very quiet.
The party town.
Well, I like it, well, we get there during the day. It is a party town if you spend the night. Good shopping there. I got my necklace there, this necklace. I have a really, this young woman opened a little jewelry store there, and it's really nice. Yeah, it's just, you did, well, you spent the night there, it might have been a party town.
So now it's time to go back and revisit.
Exactly.
Right?
Which one is your fault?
All right, so as they're switching, we just heard from Pam with Uniworld, and now Linda is going to come up and talk to you a little bit about Scenic and Emerald. So Scenic and Emerald
It
are
should be the right.
sister companies.
It's the right.
And thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. Well, thanks everyone for taking the time to be here today. We hope that you find this informative and interesting as well. My name is Linda Grunicle. Believe it or not, my husband's from Germany, born and raised. So my pronunciation is terrible. I can't pronounce my last name properly, but we'll give it a shot. So I do represent the Scenic Group. We're a private family-owned company based in Australia. We actually got our start over 30 years ago as a luxury land tour operator, and that's important to remember. In 2008, we decided to enter the luxury river cruise product, and you'll see we bandy these phrases around. But what we like to say on the Scenic side is that we are a truly, fully all-inclusive river cruise company, a leave your wallet at home river cruise line. In 2014, our owner decided to develop Emerald Waterways, which is our deluxe river cruise line, and it was developed as a value proposition to Scenic. Now, when I say value proposition, don't think low end, that's not the case at all, but it is our entry level. So we'll look at the differences between our two products. And our expansion will continue. In January of 2019, we'll be introducing the world's first luxury discovery yacht. The ship will hold 228 passengers. You'll have 2 helicopters on board, as well as a submarine, just in case your yacht doesn't have all of those toys. So that's a whole nother story for another day. Let's start talking about the rivers. Like my colleague Pam, we have won a number of Cruise Critic Editors' Pick Awards, and the one of which I'm most proud on the Emerald side is the best river cruise for value. And that's important because it takes into consideration not just the price paid, but everything that is included. So all of our ships are brand new. They were built in either 2014, 2015, or just last year in 2017. Now, I don't have the ability to bring the ship to you, unfortunately, but I too have a short video, so y'all can see what it would be like to sail with Emerald Waterways.
Emerald Waterways represents a new chapter in the world of river cruising. Since our debut in 2014, we've modernized the river cruise experience by building the newest ships and combining insightful itineraries with a fully inclusive service which we call Exceptional Emerald Value. Our river cruises offer you a unique, affordable and leisurely escape with a difference, by Cruise Critic. Our deluxe fleet of revolutionary starships promise contemporary comfort and unique onboard innovations, while our generous, fully inclusive offering combines affordability with great dining, exceptional service, and immersive itineraries across Europe. We take great pride in ensuring every journey is perfectly planned, and each guest enjoys a relaxing, exciting, and insightful river cruise experience, whether you're sailing aboard our award-winning fleet or exploring a nearby town for the day. We cruise the Rhine, Main, Danube, Moselle, Somme, Rhone, and Douro rivers, with journeys ranging from 8 to 17 days. Once integral trade and transportation routes are now gateways to cultural enlightenment, and there's no finer way to navigate these treasured landmarks than on board Europe's newest fleet of river cruise ships. From the many UNESCO World Heritage Sites, fairy tale castles, and grandiose cathedrals of mainland Europe, to France's laid-back, rural southern region where a sleepy way of life dominates the water's edge. With so much included, it's what we like to call exceptional emerald value.
Okay, who's ready to go? Will be by the end of the presentations, trust me. So that is Emerald Waterways. We are a fully inclusive river cruise product for the majority of travelers. So your transfers are included, your gratuities are included, your shore tours are included. We actually have bicycles on board, they are included as well. So if you wish to explore independently, you can certainly do that. So this will give you a few ideas. We do use the audio box system, so you can listen on tour. We do offer an upgraded system on Scenic, our luxury division. So you'll see that in just a moment. Just to give you an idea of the basic cabin accommodations, this is our standard balcony. It has what we refer to as floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall windows. You press a button, that window drops down, so you can use your balcony regardless of the weather conditions. You're not paying for real estate that you may or may not be able to use. So our guests really enjoy that feature and benefit. You did see this in the video, and I was kind of surprised, Pam. Imitation's the best form of flattery. Guess what, folks? We pioneered the concept of a swimming pool on board the river ships, but it's a little different. We took that innovation just one step further. It is located at the after rear section of the ship, so it's an infinity pool, it's heated, it has a current, it has that retractable roof, but a couple of nights during the week, we actually raise the bottom of the pool deck up. It becomes level with the surrounding deck. We squeegee it down, put in comfortable chairs, and we turn it into a movie theater. Why is that important? Well, if you come from an ocean cruise background, you're used to having a multitude of evening entertainment options. It's much quieter on the rivers. So we can show classic and first-run movies. We also use it as a sports bar. Now keep in mind, we're in Europe, so it may not be American football, it may be soccer, rugby, etc. We do broadcast tape music concerts, and sometimes we leave the pool open with soft background music for guests that don't want to be in the show lounge, where we have a DJ, a pianist, and local entertainment. We have a multitude of itineraries. We actually do the Tulips cruise in July and August. Tulips aren't blooming, but if you'd like to do a different itinerary, we can offer you that. We are in southern France. We're on the Douro River as well. And then we're going to switch over to Scenic. Remember I said we have our Deluxe, which is Emerald, fully inclusive for an average traveler. Now we're going to switch over to our luxury travelers. So on the Scenic side, we have 15 ships. They carry a maximum of 169 guests, to compare it to 182 on Emerald. And it is truly and completely all-inclusive. Butler services included, laundry services included, all of your gratuities, multiple choices on shore tours, so that you can customize your options to what you're interested in. If you like food, if you're a food aficionado, you can go shopping with the chef and come back and cook in our culinary center. If you want to go to the Mercedes-Benz factory because you're a car aficionado, you can do that as well. We also do have a lot of extras that are included. So remember with Scenic, it's all inclusive and exclusive. So when we go to these various points of interest, Pope's Palace in Avignon, for example, we're the only guests there. So you're not fighting with the hordes and the crowds. You'll see a quick video of the Scenic experience so you can get a feel for the difference.
We are about to step on board the brand new Scenic Jasper, the latest addition to the most luxurious fleet of river cruise ships in all of Europe. Now they are known as Scenic spaceships, and they truly are the absolute pinnacle of design and innovation. So why don't you let me take you on board and I'll show you around. Welcome to your Scenic Sunland. Now just the touch of a button, your balcony is perfect in any kind of weather. The beds themselves are truly remarkable. The bed is in the finest Egyptian cotton. And then there is also this remote. I can alter the height of the bed. I love that. Oh, did I mention the pillow menu? Whatever pillow you would like. And the bathrooms, they are just stunning. Plenty of space, lots of shelves. But without a doubt, the one thing that all the guests adore, we all have the use of our own private bathtub. Hello. Thank you, that's just beautiful. Thank you, Peter. Well, this is what they call the Royal Panorama Suite. You are looking at the most spacious, the most beautifully appointed room of the entire river. Isn't it gorgeous? This is the Panorama Lounge. For us guests, this is like the heart of the ship. This is where you can come at any time to catch up with new friends, chill out. A lot of the activities and nighttime entertainment takes place here. No surprises. The tea and coffee making facilities are the most popular spot. The River Cafe is a favourite little place for me. This is where you can come to for an early morning breakfast, maybe a light lunch, maybe a cheeky little gelato, please. Thank you so much. Also, if you'd like to head out on your own for the day, just ask for a pickup slot. Nothing is a problem. And when you're out and about, why not take an e-bike for a spin? It does all the work for you. One thing I recommend you keep on hand is your river view guide. It is amazing. Whatever point of interest you pass, you press a button and you'll hear the story. Now for those who like to be a little more active, this is your slice of heaven. In this room we have a state-of-the-art gym. Over here, the Zen space, the wellness center. And here is the hair salon. This is my happy place. Now this is the crystal dining room, surrounded by big, beautiful open windows. And hello, check this out. The most delicious buffets and a la carte menus created by award-winning chefs. It's flexible seating here, which means you can plonk yourself down anywhere you like. You have a huge choice of both red and white wine. This is Portobello's, or Le Moor if you're cruising through France. I think it's fair to say that it's a truly exceptional and slightly more intimate dining experience. Diamond Deck guests will savor appreciation for fine food, beautiful wine and good company at table to read. Now this is a 6-course degustation dinner created by our world-class chefs and then matched perfectly with the best wine from our sommelier. On these magnificent ships, nothing has been left to chance. All those tiny touches right down to the finest detail has been thought of. But it's the world-class service team who provide the ultimate in personal attention that will make your scenic cruise truly memorable. You'll find there is no better way to experience the wonders of Europe. So come and enjoy this for yourself. Scenic looks forward to welcoming you on board.
Tough decision, isn't it? Even within just my company. So hopefully this session will be very informative and help you to make a more informed decision. So we do have the culinary centers on board. We do travel on the major rivers in Europe as well as Asia and Russia. It's interesting because Pam indicated her favorite Christmas markets is the Rhine. Well, guess what? Mine is actually the Danube. So we'll give you a little bit of a variation, a little bit of a difference. We do have a number of river cruises that do specialize in the Christmas markets. So we've added additional because of the interest. And one thing y'all should keep in mind, the Christmas markets do sell quite a bit in advance. So if you're looking at Christmas markets, you're probably not going to find much in the way of space for 2018. You'd be looking at 2019 at this point. So on the Rhine, we do typically a 7-night, 8-day, and it does go in between Amsterdam and Basel, which Pam went over. Things to keep in mind, if you're you're doing these itineraries for Christmas markets or other times of the year, don't forget the historical aspects of the cities you're visiting, because that's going to be there regardless of the time of year. So, for example, if you're in Amsterdam, we do provide the glass-topped canal boat cruise included on Scenic, as well as on Emerald. Flower market. Do you know these are actually floating stalls? I didn't know that until I went there. I thought they were stationary, but they're actually floating. The flowers and bulbs are packaged so you can bring them home to the U.S. Pam mentioned Cologne. You do get to see the Dome Cathedral. I don't know if y'all are aware, but it doesn't work. The spires, just the top section, is actually 500 feet tall, believe it or not, to give you an idea of the scale of this particular church. Of course, Pam mentioned Koblenz as well as Cochem. We also do go into Mannheim, which is really a gateway to Heidelberg. You can go to see the castle ruins. We also go into Kiel for a transfer to Strasbourg for the Le Petit France. Beautiful city, obviously. And of course, that cruise does end in Basel, where France and Switzerland come together. We do have the Danube Christmas markets. This one's my favorite. I prefer this itinerary any time of the year, quite frankly, but that is a personal preference. It does operate typically between either Passau or Nuremberg and Budapest, or the reverse. And this does include 6 different Christmas markets. Now, as we've mentioned, Germany really did start the Christmas markets. Nuremberg is the oldest. It is also the largest. However, every city along these river routes has discovered that Americans love to spend money at the Christmas markets. So regardless of the town you go to, you will have ample shopping opportunities. These, I did the same thing as Pam, some of my favorite photographs. These actually were taken in Bratislava, and I really liked the way they taught the kids how to ice skate. They have these large penguins with ice skates on his feet, and they just push them around. I was thinking, why didn't we think of that? You could use one of those. That was the coolest thing. And this, of course, you can't get away from the holiday decorations. This one is in Regensburg. Regensburg again, beautiful opportunities. Many of these are very, very attractively priced as well. Very seldom do you pick up an ornament or a decoration and it says made in China. Usually these are artisan products. And you can see a few of the different selections. They're just beautifully arranged. They'll package them and ship them back for you. Food items. These are the pretzels. They're about the size of a spare tire on a car. Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, all kinds of wonderful flavors.
Oh.
I'm not kidding.
They're really
A
good.
few more of these photos of the ornaments, which of course are my favorite.
Yeah.
If you happen to be in Austria and you go to Schönbrunn Palace, which was gifted to Maria Theresa when she got married at the age of 15, the palace has 1,414 rooms, so that gives you an idea of the types of wedding gifts we need to step up the game here. If you go to the Schönbrunn Palace, they have a wonderful Christmas market, which is a bit more of artisan products. So if you happen to see the gentleman that has his liqueurs, please stop by and try the apple strudel liqueur. It's absolutely amazing. If you buy me a bottle, send me an email. I still need to replace what I bought a few years ago. But he has wonderful flavored liqueurs that you can't get anywhere else. And he doesn't ship outside of Austria. This is actually located in Austria. A few more photographs, of course, just beautiful scenery. I'm a Florida girl. I like warm weather. It takes a lot to get me out into the cold, but I will do it for the Christmas markets. This is a close-up. There's always these wonderful tables set up for people to enjoy their Glühwein. They actually do sell Glühwein. It's about 5 or 6 euros for the Glühwein in a souvenir cup. If you take the cup back, then you can get a refill for between 2 and 3 euros. And if you want to keep that cup, then you can do that as well. A lot of people like to collect them because they're different from city to city. Of course, Vienna, don't forget the wonderful opera house that you'll get to see. You'll get to see Hofburg Palace. Milk. Has anybody been to this area? area, Georgetown, Buckout Valley. Melk is a wonderful Benedictine abbey, still in operation, over 900 years, has wonderful frescoed ceilings. There's a nice little Christmas market in that area as well. And then, of course, Budapest, where the cruise ends. This is Fisherman's Bastion. And, of course, not to be missed is the Budapest Parliament building. If you're doing a river cruise, typically you'll do an illuminations cruise. So we go by at night, the palace is lit up, or I'm sorry, the Parliament building is lit up, as are the multiple bridges, Chain Bridge, etc. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea. We've also affiliated with National Geographic. We're the exclusive luxury river cruise providers for them, where we have guest speakers as well as photographers on board, and we do have Christmas market cruise in conjunction with National Geo. So as far as our special offers are concerned, please stop by my table. We do have complimentary air to Europe on both brands. We also have special discounts because you've taken the time to be here today. So that'll be good for the next 30 days. The offers do vary depending upon which division you choose. So I hope I've piqued your curiosity and given you a few additional reasons to do some more research into Scenic and Emerald. So we look forward to welcoming you on board. Have a great day. Thank you.